Good morning. Darden School faculty, Darden UVA employees and staff, Darden MBA students and MBA executive students, thank you for being here this morning. My name is Christopher Ahn. I'm a second-year student here at the Darden School, and I'm the Vice President of Community Affairs for the Darden Military Association. I wanted to say a few words today as we prepare for this weekend and the 10th anniversary of 9/11. 10 years ago, on September 10th, 2001, I made a phone call to a talk radio station in California. The reason I called was to lament about the fact that there wasn't any patriotism anymore. I talked about how I was worried that maybe Americans just didn't care anymore. The next morning, as I stood in front of the television, watching those horrible events take place, planes crashing into buildings, men and women jumping to their death, symbols of our country crumbling into ash, killing thousands in an instant, I cried. I couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't understand why. The questions of grief and fear continued to grow and grow. And that's when I remembered my phone call from the night before. And I realized I was wrong. Because from that ash, the spirit of America began to bloom. We saw people from all across the country run to their local blood banks and donate blood. Churches, charities, nonprofits began to mobilize and send aid. Firefighters and policemen got in their cars and headed to New York, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. And millions of individuals across the country gathered to remember, to support one another, and to show our solidarity against the despicable and evil acts that took place in our home. You see, what they attacked wasn't buildings. It wasn't even people. It was our freedom. It was the idea that living in a free society, allowing individuals to make choices for themselves without the threat of death or enslavement, that the way we live not only benefits us, but shines a light onto the rest of the world that yearns for freedom. That is what they attacked. For the past 10 years, we drew a line in the sand and stood shoulder to shoulder and said one thing: no, we will not yield to threats. We will not stand down to fear. Our liberty and our way of life will never be taken from us. Because while the enemy is motivated by hate, we as Americans are motivated by something far different that they will never understand: love. We strive to live and create a world where men and women live together in peace, where freedom of ideas, of beliefs, of passions create not only a better America, but a better world. It's because we love one another and that we love our society that young men take up arms and risk their lives to protect it. It's why men and women across the country start charities and organizations to help the poor, the needy, the sick, the neglected, the ostracized, the forgotten. And although we remember September 11th, 2001 as a day of sorrow, September 11th, 2011 is a day of victory. Because these men, these ideologies that tried to kill who we are, not only failed, but caused us to grow in strength and in love for one another. One only needs to see the debate and the argument that we have in our daily lives to know that we have bigger issues now than the ideology of crazy people who threaten to kill us. We know that our way of life and the light from our shining city upon a hill will never dim. And I and every man, woman, and child will never question the patriotism of our country's citizens ever again. So now, let us take a moment of silence as we remember those we have lost on September 11th, 2001, and all of the men and women who have given their lives to make our lives free. And as we remember their sacrifices, let us not forget what they sacrificed for, because it was not in vain. It is for days like today where we remember and we also rejoice, because it is also a happy day, my friends. It is a day we celebrate freedom. Thank you very much.
Got it.